Hey guys, how's it going? I was gonna try to record this without my van running. I actually started it the other day. It was in the evening and I kind of ran out of time, kind of lost my train of thought. It was a mixture of the two. So I decided, you know what, scrap it. And it's okay because I realized I was saying all the wrong things. So anyhow, back to what I was saying, because I am in full squirrel mode right now, is I was going to try to do this without the van running so you didn't hear the hum of the engine in the background. Guys, it is almost October, and it is, well, my van says 84. The high today is 89 degrees. Almost October in South Dakota. And we're pushing 90 degrees. Now, I talked to a friend last night back out in the Black Hills, and they are in the 90s today, like securely into it. And I just, okay, let's do this. I was hoping for a little bit of fall before winter hits, but I have a feeling it's going to kind of be a wham-bam situation. That's okay. Anyhow, guys, I'm going to actually flip-flop around here. Now that I've rambled for a minute, gosh, we got so much to get caught up on. I don't even know where to begin other than so much has happened, so much is happening. And I realized that part of the reason I was struggling to do these videos, to update you guys, to do anything, was I was in my own head. I wasn't like mentally struggling, but for some reason, I got enough out of the habit of just talking to you guys and sharing things that I almost lost my confidence. I thought everything needed to be perfect. It was kind of all over the place, and things did get a little overwhelming after we moved out here. But I look back and I think why I actually started my channel was several reasons, but I had really gotten into doing it because I was in a really rough spot mentally, and I needed something to help pull me out. I needed something to put my focus and my energy on, because I was really struggling. Now, it helped. It really did. I credit this channel and all of you guys that take your time to listen to me ramble about random stuff and get to know us. I have absolutely got people walking by me making faces at me because he was trying to figure out what I was doing. Anyhow, yeah, I think that the move was so overwhelming, and just I wasn't sure what to do. And it took so much more work to get settled in than I anticipated. Not because we don't like the house or anything, but we did downsize, and we knew we were downsizing. We knew how much we were downsizing, but it still ended up being more than we truly anticipated. And not because of the square footage, but just because of the change in space. You can have 5 different houses, all with the exact same square footage, but the layout can make or break it. And in our case, this house has a decent layout. I actually think the basement is more functional in many ways, but I don't get down there very often. The upstairs is very open, but we have very much come to learn some of the caveats. So when I get home later, or at some point here, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Because, and maybe I have shown you guys a little bit, but when you walk into the front door, you've got the living room, the stairs are to the side. Don't necessarily love that fact, but there weren't a lot of houses available, and this actually was the best one, and we do like it. The entryway seemed big enough for that not to be a problem. It is proving to be a small problem. We are keeping a baby gate at the top of the stairs, mostly just to create a barrier, and for our dog, but to create a barrier because when you come in that front door, they left more space behind the door to keep that and the coat closet door from colliding too much. So the front door swings open and the gate, or the top of the stairs is like right there. So you can't just kind of open the door. You have to open the door, come in, but then to come in far enough to close the door, you actually have to come past the stairs almost into the living room. And that's just one person. So you get the whole crew trying to climb into the house and then trying to kick off shoes in the process. And yeah, so we're going to rearrange some of that. We're actually hoping to utilize the garage door more this winter, because last winter it was really difficult right there by the front door. And so the living room is actually a decent sized space. The kitchen is, well, it's a single line, and it's probably half the size of my kitchen at the other house. So that has definitely been a struggle. Not to mention fewer outlets, less counter space, less cupboard space. Like it's genuinely less all the way around kitchen wise. And then the dining room is off the side of the kitchen. So you kind of have the kitchen, and then the dining room is off and it's its own little nook. So it is open into the kitchen and living room, but it's not all in the same space. So there's very little change that we can make to make everything flow better or work better, and to have the size of table we need by the time we have it all the way expanded. We do have a chair at the end of the table, which I wasn't going to do originally, but it just became necessary for Micah. When he sits on his chair, there's such little space between his chair and the end of the island that, yeah, we almost have to walk all the way around the kitchen to get to the other side of the table half the time. And if anybody bigger than Micah sits there, then that's absolutely what you have to do. Now, we did end up getting, and I think I've probably shown it in some videos, and you guys have seen it in the grocery hauls, got some beautiful cabinets from IKEA in the dining room that expanded the kitchen storage and has made a huge difference. Getting that in and starting to declutter more and stuff has really helped. What I've come to realize even more recently, though, is that I have bad habits. I'm just going to say that. So I don't make everybody pick up absolutely everything every night before we go to bed. I know people who do that, or at least say they do that, because they like to wake up refreshed to a fresh house. That's awesome. My children don't do that because I've never done that. And I don't have the energy at the end of the day to pick up everything from all 10 of us. So many things get left. Shoes, even though I've been asking them to put them away every time they come in, shoes are not getting put away. Well, there's probably at least 2 pairs of shoes per person around the front door area. And it's starting to create this like narrow pathway. Well, I started getting that cleaned up, and it changes the feel of the entire space, which makes sense, except the second everybody comes through the door again, they're right back. And we're working on that balance, because I know how much better the space feels when those little things get cleaned up and moved, but trying to get everybody to change their habits. And I don't know if it's probably flashing across there, but I am being blinded by cars driving by and the sun reflecting off. Anyhow, we have been on a major purge lately, something we planned on doing last summer and it didn't happen. I did kind of hit a small funk last summer. Some things changed within our family that just threw me off. And it has taken a year to really come around and figure out what I can accept and what I can't, redefine my boundaries, and come to a place of acceptance of letting go of both people and ideas. I think it's a natural part of life. And there are some of you who are close to us personally who know what I'm talking about, and that's okay. There are those of you who don't, and that's okay too. It doesn't need to be expressed. Just, yeah, we've had to face some stuff within the family. And it is all family. And we're not talking just like removing friends from life and stuff. It's family members that, deciding where to draw those lines and what's healthy for us and for them and where we'll stand. And I think we're all finally coming to a place of acceptance and being exactly where it is. There have been minor changes with Micah. I think I shared like a year ago, one of the few videos I did, sorry, where after moving out here, Micah had a couple of more significant seizures and ended up getting diagnosed with epilepsy. On top of it, he had had some myoclonic seizures in the couple years prior to moving, but they have shifted, and I want to say they're focal seizures now. And then ironically, after being diagnosed, after having a couple of more significant ones that had the full after effects of seizures, he's not had another one in a year. His neurologist and I had agreed that we would evaluate after the next one about doing meds. So he gets diagnosed with epilepsy. We agree it might be time to consider meds, not necessarily agreeing we'll do it yet, but considering it. And he's just not had it anymore. I'm not upset by that. I just find it kind of ironic and funny. So we really don't know what was fully triggering them before, but maybe he's outgrown them. Maybe they're just farther spread out. We'll see. He, however, is showing such amazing growth. In the last year, we had him in speech and occupational therapy that we had to discontinue at the beginning of this year because of job changes and insurance changes and things like that. That's really kind of been tough overall. We've had a lot of ups and downs with that insurance. But it is coming in very handy because I have had my own things up and down. I know I mentioned about the same time last year. My iron tanked for some reason. Between my iron and my vitamin D, both were critically low, and it actually started to affect my heart and just my overall body function, which can happen. So we got all of that kind of situated and figured out. And then, lo and behold, I went again here recently and my levels are tanking again, and we don't really know why. So I have a feeling there's a lot of doctor's appointments in my future, but we'll see how that plays out. We are going to have some other big changes coming up in the next year, actually, for our family. Adding family members through various means that as each happens, I will share with you guys. But yeah, I'm just going to keep that at that, and you guys will have to keep watching to see what all is going to come up. And like I said, as each one happens, we'll share then when we're able to. Oh my goodness. It has been a lot. And right now I am sitting in my van, after a doctor's appointment. I ran to Hobby Lobby because I had to get some fabric for a quilt. I'm not a quilter. Let's just start there. I haven't even sewn in several years. I used to sew all the time. It was my stress relief. And then several years ago, I actually developed trigger finger in my thumb, of all things, from picking lice out of kids' heads. That was before we officially started fostering. It was when we were just doing Safe Families through Bethany Christian. And if you don't know, I have some pretty significant hitchhiker's thumb. If you're unsure what that is, I'm about to show you. If you know what that is and don't want to see it, close your eyes. I'll let you know when to open them again. And if you don't like seeing weird body things, then you may not want to look either. So, ready? Here we go. My thumbs do this. And they go back farther if I push on them. It does not hurt. It's just what it is. You guys can look again now if you're closing your eyes. That's what they do. And because they flex so much, it takes more muscles up here to control my thumbs and do regular movements that most people do and take for granted. So picking lice, because I use the comb, but sometimes you just got to get your fingernails in there to get them out of the hair if you're going to clear them all out. Well, that repetitive motion, using those muscles that get overstrained anyhow from everyday use, I developed trigger finger in my thumb, which is far better now, but I still it aches a lot, and my thumb is just really tight all the time. So it's hard. I can't do scissors and things. Even actually just doing this motion starts to cause some pretty significant ache through my thumb. But now that I gave you guys that rant, that's where I kind of switched to crocheting because I can hold the hook and it's a little more stable. I did decide to take on a singular quilting project, despite never having quilted because I don't have the patience for it. But this is culturally significant for one of our kiddos. And I don't know why I keep looking at the bag of fabric. It's kind of buried and I can't pull it out right now. I used the rotary cutter. There's no scissors involved at this point, and if there is some in the future, it seems like it'll be pretty minimal. And yeah, so I'm trying my hand at it, but you guys can laugh with me. Year and a half of living here, almost. At least 2 years since I've touched my sewing machine. I pulled it out after getting most of the top of the blanket cut, and I was going to start putting it together. The power cord wasn't with my sewing machine. I have absolutely no idea where this cord ended up at, which random box it got tucked into because it got missed. I don't know. I genuinely don't know where my power cord is. So I had to order a new one from Amazon. It's supposed to be here tomorrow. Yeah, the joys of moving and not touching some of your stuff for a while. And even before we moved, I was doing a lot of stuff with my Cricut and vinyl, and that is still in the box. I actually just last night cut the tape on my Cricut box to open it up to see if maybe I stuck my sewing machine cord in there. It wasn't in there, by the way. But now that I am done with my doctor's appointment, this one was not for the iron or vitamin D or anything. It's actually, I've had some issues with my foot since we moved here. They thought originally that maybe I had broken it, but then they couldn't find any breaks. But they found weird bone floaters and said, well, maybe it's a bunion. Just kind of brush it all off. Well, here we are a year later, and it's still pretty much constant pain. But that has changed slightly. So the doctor looked at it today and was kind of perplexed. I get to do an MRI and a nerve study here shortly to see what exactly is causing some of this pain. And he did warn me though that because I also have a diagnosis of fibromyalgia, he said that sometimes it can be a progression from that, and this literally just may be my life now, which does not sound fun, but we'll see. It is what it is. I've lived with it this long. I guess what's it going to change? Yeah, there's that. But while I'm sitting here chatting with you guys, I'm supposed to be going to Costco and Walmart. And, I grabbed a Twix while I was in Hobby Lobby, and it's getting very melty. But I'm supposed to go to Costco and Walmart. It's like 2:30 in the afternoon, and I don't want to. But I have to because it's been almost 2.5 weeks since we got groceries. And we're kind of out of a lot of things. Okay, so anyhow, kind of funny there. I decided to hurry up and eat my Twix. Forgot to pause my camera. Had people trying to figure out what in the world I was doing as they were going by. Then I thought I'd pull my grocery list out of my pocket so I could check it really quick. Dropped it into the door, and welcome to my life. Yeah, so I'm going to run to Walmart, and I'm going to run to Costco. You guys are going to see that grocery haul. I don't know which one's going to come first. Probably this. Actually, I know it'll be this because my grocery hauls are running just a smidge behind right now. Since I'm only getting groceries like every 2 weeks all of a sudden, I am trying to make sure that there's 2 weeks space between my grocery hauls. So that way it makes sense when I'm uploading them. But then I was kind of behind in posting them too. So yeah, we'll get that part sorted out. Anyhow, if you guys are ever curious to know what it looks like when I go grocery shopping, I honestly, this is what it looks like. This is our chicken scratch list. And actually, this is not a bad thing to show you guys. Maybe I should show it at the beginning of my grocery haul. Maybe I'll do that so maybe you guys are going to see this list twice. Anyhow, we write the items on the list, and then we write an initial next to it. So that way, I just realized that my children have written Natalya on here more than once and some other things too. But anyhow, that initial tells me which store to plan to get it at. So I can kind of do a quick look at this list and go, you know what? I've got a pretty even split of Walmart and Costco. So then I'm going to look at it and I'm going to see, okay, how much cold stuff? Because I need to know if the cold stuff I'm getting from Costco, if there's enough of it to stay cold while I go to Walmart, or vice versa. Or make sure it's not going to be so much that I don't have enough cooler bags. Because again, guys, it's in the 80s right now, and it gets very hot in a vehicle when you've got food sitting in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get groceries. You guys are going to get to see this video. I'm going to talk to you guys again soon, because I miss doing this more often, and since I realized it was a confidence issue and that I just need to do it. Actually, that's something my husband just said to me the other day, that I need to quit worrying about what's around me and where I am and all of that, and I need to just do it. I just need to talk to you guys and get back to doing my videos. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, and that's what this is. I miss you guys. I am so glad that I am getting my life figured out and that so many of you have stuck around, and I cannot wait to meet even more of you. And it's time to go get groceries. I hope you guys are having a blessed day. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss everything else coming up next. And I'm going to see you in the next one.